When looking for the king of podcasts, you're at the wrong channel.
Well, excuse me!
Looking for good ideas for life? You're far from good hands.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
If you think the listener is always right, you're far from the right place.
Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works!
Hosted by a Northeasterner by birth, but a rebel by choice.
Are you threatening me?
If you want a host that floats between love and madness,
and we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon delight.
then play on and listen to Crazy Train Radio.
All right, guys, listen to this blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Within the gaming world, there are your general gamers, but then there are those that enjoy the dark underbelly of gaming. If you're one of those that enjoy the dark underbelly of gaming, we certainly got the place to send you. Scorpion Lair Games. That's right, Scorpion Lair Games is the creators of the true crime hit Killers, the card game. Let's not forget they also have Killers Clothing Company, the profiler game, and things like the 5-Minute Murder channel on YouTube. And we certainly can't forget the new book that is certainly a hit, Beyond the Headliners, True Crimes, Myths, and Legends. Make sure you visit Jeff and the Scorpion Lair Games on Facebook and everywhere today.
Hello, this is Kristine W, and yes, you are listening to Crazy Train Radio with Jonathan Steele. Happy holidays!
Hey folks, it's your least favorite host in the podcast world, the Croc, Jonathan Steele. And boy, do we have a good one for you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this next guest was named by Billboard Magazine as the 8th greatest dance artist of all time. And with that being said, she was number 3 on the rankings from the last decade, according to their records, trailing only 2 people. I think they were named Madonna and Beyonce. Never heard of them, but okay, we'll go with it.
Who is Andre the Giant?
But this next guest has certainly proven herself as a lasting talent. She has 17 number 1 singles, tying some Mariah Carey, who's popular this time of year, I don't know, for the 6th most Billboard number 1 dance hits. But there's more to this flower, as we like to say. So let's go ahead and welcome Miss Kristine W. How are you?
Hi, sweetie pie. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. How are things?
Things are good. I've got this time of year, I have the National Finals rodeo horses, quite a few of them over here at my place. I had 77 last night at Fly Again Ranch.
Right
So my
on.
music production is Fly Again Music, but then I also have a horse hotel, which is called Fly Again Ranch. It's a horse hotel.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed.
So it's fun.
Nice.
This is a really fun time of year up here.
Yeah, I know some people who work with some horses in the movie realm, I guess we could say, which is cool. But yeah, that's a little different having the horse hotel. So obviously, it sounds like it's
fun.
obviously it's a little bit different with that. So obviously, I was doing some reading because we know everything on the internet is true. Well, first off, how are you feeling? Because there was a little rumor that you might have been not feeling well recently.
Well, I had leukemia 20 years ago, but I'm okay. I've been in remission for 20 years, so I'm really lucky, really, really lucky. I'm very thankful for UCLA, and sometimes, yeah, you'll get a little dip where you go through because once you have that much chemo and you have a stem cell transplant and you have total body radiation, like you'll go through phases where you're not hitting on all cylinders. It'll just, you'll get taken kind of down by it because your immune system is just not what it used to be. Before the chemo and all of the treatments, they save your life, but they do a number on your immune system, your complete system. So every once in a while I'll just get hit by catch something and I'll just, it'll knock me out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen too often, but this last about a month ago I got nailed pretty good, but I'm all right now.
Yeah. But in the same boat. When it hits you, it hits you. I'm going on, let's see, what are we? 2014, 14 years myself.
Oh my gosh. So you've been through it. So you get,
I
get it.
Totally get it. So, but I can say that when I was doing some of that reading there, that your story led to a track called By My Side. So
there it is. That's
what was
a
the
good
By
song.
My Side?
Well, By My Side celebrates all those people that, when you have a crisis like that, you have a cancer, you have a divorce, you have a death in the family, you have a lot of people will run, because it makes them kind of think about their own mortality. So you'll have friends and, family that literally can't deal with it, and then you'll have those really special people that are by your side and hang right there with you. And I'm really lucky that I have quite a few people that are friends like that, and I have family like that. So it's really a blessing. And I'm sure you're a good man, Jonathan. I'm sure you've got some great people that have stayed next to you too and by your side.
A couple. It's strange dynamic
That's all
with
you
me.
need.
Yeah, there was a couple, but there's also a few I thought were there, but that's a whole nother story for another time. Because I don't want to drop any names.
No, I get that. Yeah, you're thinking they're going to be there and they're not, and that happens to all of us. Yep.
Well, part of it is I think I upset some people, but that's a whole nother conversation. Like I said, it was not so much the health stuff. But anyway, as you could tell, I'm going to bounce around a little bit here. But there was, I guess, most recent that I saw and actually shared a little bit there was you recently did a version of Smooth Operator. And there was
there it is.
She got it.
Always got it. I'm promoting it. Here it is. The single.
There you go. And let's see, the dance mix was edited by DJ Brad Brenner. Excuse me, Brad, for butchering the last name. I'm bad that way. And you actually,
Brad Brenner.
The music.
Yeah.
Thank you. Brad, I'm sorry. I tend to do that once in a while. But the music video was directed by actress and producer and all kinds of things, Julie Michaels.
Yeah. Yeah, and also my best friend for many, many years. She's a former Miss Seattle, and I'm a former Miss Tri-Cities, and the two of us have been friends since we were teenagers. So we have a long, long history, and we really we really have stayed in contact. And when she was on the set, geez, she must have been maybe 20 years old or something on the set of Roadhouse. I was going to school at UNLV and going up to California working at a production house as just a part-time songwriter. And in exchange for getting to use studio time, so I would drive all the way to LA, and then I'd always try to find her and see her. So I got to see her on the set, and they ended up using a song called "Do You Really Want Me" in the movie. So when she's working out to this kind of dance R&B tune, it's called "Do You Really Want Me." That's actually my song playing in the background. So that was amazing. That was fun. We just had our kids she's kind of like another mother to my kids, and Victoria and Vincent, her kids are so close to me. I just love those kids. So we've had a really special friendship. Yeah, for sure. And she directed the video, did a great job. And Victoria, VIP, she's the actress in the Smooth Operator video, and she's been in a ton of movies and things since she was little. She's really an accomplished actress as well. So that was neat to have, like all our kids working together, because my son Jack Ryan played the Smooth Operator in the video. And I think we're still in the top 10 in Europe in Music Week right now with Smooth Operator, and the producer is British. His name is James Herr, and he's quite talented. He's he's one of the top 100 producers in the world right now. So, and that's pretty hard, because that's a hard chart to get onto, because there's millions of music producers in the planet. So he's an up and coming. He also did By My Side. He did Smooth Operator and By My Side, lead producer on that. And he also did Can't Look Back. So he's done quite a few songs on the upcoming album. So James Herr, he's one to watch.
Nice. And full disclosure, Julie was the one who first told me about the video, and I checked it out and all that stuff. So, I shouldn't say I was surprised, but I'm not surprised with how it turned out, from a production standpoint and all that stuff.
So she's a great actress. She's a great director. She's a great producer. She can do anything. And she's a great fighter too. If you saw Chick Fight, she really is, she's skilled in all types of fighting as well. I mean, she's just so amazing. I love her so much. I admire her so much.
Not much you can't do, so.
Yes.
So from a career standpoint, you singer, songwriter, musician, just cover all bases that way. What do you think was the biggest thing you would focus on to bring you to where you're at success-wise?
I really have focused on my songwriting, and also, partnering with other great songwriters. I've really spent tons of time researching producers, researching remixers, listening to everybody's, their mixes, their productions. I have my own label. It's called Flag in Music. I was with major labels, most of my career, and I started my own label in 2008. It was really, really hard, but it was probably the best thing that I did, because the first album that came off of it, The Power of Music, had 7 #1 Billboard hits on it, which is, I think maybe there's 5 other dance albums that had 7 hits on it, or 3 or something. I mean, very rarely do you have a dance album or a pop album or whatever that has 7 #1 Billboard dance hits on it. So that was quite an accomplishment for me, but not easy. That was tough. That was really tough. Scary.
Yeah. Well, what made you want to come out and do your own production company and such?
It was really difficult at the labels at that time. I think there was a lot of ambulance chasing going on, which was a very U.S. thing. That's why I went to Europe to do my first album, which is ironic that I went to London to write and produce my first album, Land of the Living, and I felt free to try something different over there. Then my then the album was licensed back to RCA in New York, and it was released in the US, and everybody loved it. And then, but it seemed like the second album, being with RCA at that time, they had NSYNC, Britney Spears, what they referred to as lunchbox artists, that they would sell a lot of merch and they were very marketable to kids or something. And so it was hard because you go from London where you're creative, and then you get over here, and then it seemed like they're kind of trying to put people into boxes, Okay, everything was a category in a box. You're in this box, you're in that box. I was like, wow, this is really crazy. So yeah, it was hard to deal with. It was hard to, and then and it kind of, we call it ambulance chasing. They put out music that sounds just like everything else that has already been out there. They're scared to release something that's new. Usually it's the small labels that will come up with something super creative and take a chance on it because, they've got a big bank, they got all these people they got to pay and big overhead and all that kind of stuff. They don't want to take any chances. So they gravitate towards stuff that sounds like something that's already been a hit.
It's funny. You've been, not just you, I'm saying music in general. Because I'm like, for my age at 40, I'm big into like doo-wop and Elvis and, since I was a kid. And, just like old school stuff, Motown.
That's fun. So fun.
But it's always been that as long as I can recall, putting stuff into a box. Oh, you have to be hard rock. You have to be country. You have to be mainstream. So that's nothing new as far as putting things into a box, which is kind of shame because there are things that kind of mesh and gel together to should fit in that box. But, it's when I think about your stuff and everything I read and watched and all that fun jazz, you have a real connection with your audience, and obviously at the end of the day, that is key for success, having a connection with whatever your audience or whoever your audience is. But what do you think that was that connected you over the years with your audience?
Well, I really love people. And I think when I was playing Vegas, the entertainment director, he would always come in and say, oh, it feels like a family reunion in here, the way you connect with the audience.
What's the problem with that?
I know. So he loved it. And that's, people are special. So you make them feel special and you talk to them and you listen to them. People, oh, can you play this song? Or, I used to always, bring people up to the dressing room and then just chat with them and get their ideas as to what, they had great ideas. Sometimes they'd say, hey, you ought to do this song or you ought to do that song. So, and then you'd get all the dancers together, choreograph it, come up with a production of sometimes a song that somebody out of the crowd would say, oh, this was great. And you should try doing a song by, this artist. And we did it. And I think just really listening to them, you got to love people. I think to be a live performer, you really need to love people. I think it's important because they can feel it. You can't really fake it out. You can for a while, but after a while, it'll show if you're just doing it for the money or the ego, the adulation, Yes.
For folks in my neck of the woods, I'm from the Northeast. And as I like to say, and excuse me for saying this, we will smell the bullshit right away. We will pick up on it. If you're not being true and genuine, like you're saying, we will pick that up. So if you're not a people person or if what you're presenting is not authentic to you, we will, especially us in this region, will pick that up. So.
Yeah. Well, I've always, like Dolly Parton always says, God gave her a gift, God gave her a gift. She's been sharing it with the world and she's not running around there. She hasn't run around and done all this for herself or sure, she enjoys it, but she just knew that it was her kind of her mission to share her gift and get messages out to people. And music is medicine. And so, when your heart's in the right place, you want to do things to lift people up. And that's how she has spent her life doing that. And I mean, I feel like I've done the same. And it's very rewarding because you hear about people that, take these songs and make them their mantras, and they'll come up to you and say, oh, I don't know what I would have done, if you didn't, if I hadn't heard One More Try. When I heard it at the time, I was in a really dark place, thinking about doing bad things, you know what I mean? Like, so many of the songs, Land of the Living, have had a lot of different, people that were struggling with AIDS at that time. They were scared, and people are starting to be able to live with AIDS, and they had good medicines, but it really was, everybody was kind of a test rat in the mid 90s. They were testing all these drugs on everybody, and it worked for some, didn't work for others. And it was a really, really scary time, and I had a lot of friends battling during that time, and Land of the Living became an anthem song. I'm glad to be alive in the land of living, like just got to get up and fight every day. And that really helped me too, because writing that song during that time, then when I got leukemia in 2000 2000, I was in one, it helped me. I was like, okay, I wrote this, I got to live this, you know what I mean? I can't give up. We gotta be this side of the dirt. Let's go. It helps you fight. Music is really, really powerful.
Yeah, and briefly, you actually started leading me towards my next question, but when you mentioned Dolly, obviously music has been super good for her and has been, so she's a legend. And I never had any interaction with Dolly, but Dolly is, if there's a heaven, she's definitely earned her automatic entry because of not just because of the music, not because of the music, but just the type of person she is and what she's tried to give back to the community and help people and just trying to be a decent person.
Pass for sure. VIP pass for sure. Come on, man.
It's like, oh, Dolly, come, you're good. Yep. That, like you said, fast pass, like Disney. Here, go that line. Come on in. Yeah, you're a good A. Come on, let's go. Go around everybody. Dolly is.
Yeah.
Dolly has earned her angel wings, we'll say.
For sure, Jonathan. Yeah.
But
amazing.
You mentioned about the fight of AIDS and different things like that, and I wouldn't know what the percentages of your audience, but you have a big audience from the LGBTQ community. So how would you define that relationship with that community? But we'll start there. How would you define that particular relationship you built over the years?
Well, we kind of have a love affair, we kind of do, we kind of have a love affair, and we really do. And I just, at that time, a lot of artists were shying away. I mean, the record labels would be, they really didn't want you to play the gay clubs, and when I was coming up, they would call it, oh, you're playing too many gay clubs, you're just going to end up in the gay ghetto. It was like really crazy, the record labels. So it was, and I would just keep going. I would just keep playing the clubs. I would just do the fundraisers all the time. I would show up, whether I got paid or not. A lot of times you didn't get paid. Most of the time you didn't get paid, but they needed the funding. They were trying to get the research going to find better cures, and not cures, but better medicines for AIDS. So, and I had a lot of friends that were fighting it. And so I just went and did anything and everything that I could. I was everywhere I could be. I was doing my shows at the Hilton. I had 2 nights off a week. On that Sunday and Monday, I was somewhere doing a fundraiser, and I come back totally wiped out. But, I did that for a long time, just to help out, because it was really necessary that people showed up, and especially straight people showed up and supported. You know, then that got other straight performers to show up, and I think
They're calling to say thank you again.
There they are. That's you calling, yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
oh my god.
Can you do another show and thank you?
Yeah. But so when I would just and a lot of the clubs that people were actually kind of scared. Sometimes they wouldn't want to play the Roxy at 4:00 in the morning or 3:00 in the morning in New York. They're scared. They didn't want to walk back to their room. They didn't know what was going to happen. Oh, there's so many drugs there. There's so much, Exit, all these clubs in New York, a lot of artists would not play. They were too scared to go in there. Oh, and then, the thing was you're going to get AIDS, but, everybody thought you were going to get AIDS from somebody breathing on your, AIDS from that. There's so much fear around the whole thing. And I just showed up, I just was like fearless. You know what I mean?
No, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And it's kind of like, it's like family, I was the one that always showed up, so after a while we're family, we're connected and we love each other and that's it.
It's like what we were discussing in the beginning there with it. Hey, we're one of those few people that we're there, we're supportive, we're all that, so you don't like it, tough, these are my people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
With the reading I was doing, which I'm still surprised my parents tried to teach me to read and write and all that kind of thing, was I heard you won a scholarship, which helped you pursue the music. So what kind of scholarship was this? What led to this, giving you that kick in the tuchus to get going?
Well, I came from really cool farm area in Eastern Washington, Tri-Cities, and I joined my first pageant that I ever did, and I won Miss Tri-Cities, and then next thing I know, I'm at Miss Washington, I win that. Next thing I know, I'm on stage at Miss America, and I won talent and swimsuit. So that was enough money to get me through my first year and a half at UNLV. But I didn't realize how fast that the money would go. So I just started even before that. As soon as I got into town, I started going around to recording studios and kind of auditioning to do background vocals for different artists that came in. I did voiceovers for commercials. I just pretty much drove around town and showed up, and I just literally sing for the engineer or the owner or whoever was there and say, hey, if you ever need me, I know how to do harmonies. I can do everything. You don't need to hire 2 or 3 girls. Just call me. I sang in the church choir. I've had tons of vocal lessons. I'm from Washington. I won talent at Miss America. You know what I mean? Next thing I know, I'm getting called. It wasn't much money. You got at that time, you still don't get that much money for singing, background vocals on people's stuff, being a session singer, unless you're super famous like the Winans or something, But but I did that, and I drove to LA, on my own dime and would write with people, and showed up at a production company there that was working with people like Janet Jackson and all that kind of stuff, people like that. And it was called Jam Power Productions, all R&B artists. So I'm sure it was hilarious when this white girl showed up, and everybody was black in the whole corporation. And so I'm sure they were cracked up when I walked through the door and sat there and auditioned. They were like, girl, you got soul. It was awesome. The next thing I know, I'm in there writing with them, singing. And that was probably one of the greatest experiences of my life, because I got to sing background vocals on rapper songs, on just every, hardcore, from hardcore rap to funny Will Smith kind of, fun rap, and background vocals on, I think I sang background vocals on The Right Stuff for Vanessa Williams, and Yeah, I was really, really young, and just it was really an exciting time. I came to Vegas, I was 18 years old, so you're just amped up. You're in your car driving here, driving there. Yeah, I get to do this, I get to do this, I could do that. Oh yeah. So I just tried to do it all. Didn't sleep much. Then took me a little bit longer to graduate from college because I was doing so much stuff, but from UNLV, but it was worth it.
To go back and reference Roadhouse there, since you mentioned it earlier, I'll quote the great Sam Elliott when it comes to that stage of our lives. I'll
He
sleep when
was
I'm
so
dead.
incredible. Yeah, he was so normal on the set too. I mean, he was funny, fun. They had Harleys. I'll never forget it. They had these big Harleys outside of the, where they were filming the road where they filmed Roadhouse, and they would drive around on their Harleys, and him and Patrick Swayze were really close friends, and it was just the whole crew. Everybody was so tight. I think that's what made the movie so good, is because everybody really loved each other on that set, and it was neat. And Jeff Healey, he was so cool. What a great player.
Don't get me started on Jeff, please.
Singer, great singer. Yeah, he was amazing. So that kind of built itself. That's like a family. That felt like a family for sure.
Yeah, don't get me started on Jeff. That's a whole nother.
Amazing, right? From another planet. What a guy.
Yeah. Two more questions for you. And I read that your mom was an entertainer, and she did it for, quote unquote, being a matter of survival. What kind of entertainer was she?
My mom was a singer and a 12-string guitar player, and she was a request artist. So she knew probably 2,000 songs or whatever, and people would, she had a big tip jar, and people would try to come in and stump her, see if she didn't know this song or whatever. But she had a huge catalog of songs in her brain. It was incredible, and an incredible memory. And her name was Donna Lee, and she was really popular in the Northwest. So she was, now they call it a residency, but they call it, when DJs are there for a long time, it's a residency. But my mom would have these long time residencies at different supper clubs. And her longest residency was at this really beautiful place right on the Columbia River. And it was called, the club at the top of the hotel was called the Owl's Nest, and it was completely glass. And it was gorgeous. She had just a beautiful, it's still there, a beautiful view of the river, and really a neat place, and a lot of great times in that place. And so she was a great singer and 12-string guitar player, great guitar player. And and her and my dad had, before he passed away, they had a duo called the Humdingers. And then my godmother, she joined them sometimes for shows, and she was a singer too. And so all three of them would play guitar and do comedy and sing. And so the music goes back really far. My grandma was a classical violinist, and my grandpa, Conrad, he was a great singer too, and he was a percussionist, and he could speak Portuguese and sing in Portuguese. And he ended up living in Argentina for a while. He was a really interesting guy, farmer, incredible guy. That would be my great grandfather. So and it keeps going back in time to really, singers. My dad was such a killer country singer. Victor Duane, great singer. Wow. Yeah.
Was the 12-string? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. I was going to ask, was the 12-string a similar style to what Don Felder would play?
Yeah. 12 string. It's instead of 6 strings, you got 12 strings, and it's the octaves. Mm-hmm. And it's just really beautiful. It's so pretty. It's really hard to play though. You really have to have strong wrists, strong fingers, and my mom's fingers were completely flat on the end. It was so wild. Her left hand was just the tips of her fingers were completely flat from playing, for 25 years,
But helps you bend real, and I know I'm speaking inside baseball. It gives you a unique sound with it being able to bend and all that fun stuff.
So pretty. Yeah, beautiful instrument. Yeah.
So we are in December 2024 as we sit here and chat, and obviously this will be out the next day or so. I like to do a quick turnaround, but
Sure.
What do you have on the horizon for you coming up in 2025?
I've got a new album. I've been working on it for about 4 years now. Started working on it a little bit before I released the last album, which was 2020. So I've got a new one that's coming out. I'm really excited about it. It's fantastic. It's been a lot of work, but it's 14 tracks, and we've got 7. So 14 tracks. There's 7 bonus tracks. And it's really amazing. The producers are killer. The writers are great. It's a kind of a who's who of dance music, producers, remixers, songwriters. So it's a kind of an all-star cast that's involved in it. So it's exciting. So I'm hoping to get it out by March, April, so we can people can dance away the summer to it, because it's fantastic.
Well, Kristine, thank you so much for the time. And what I'm going to do here, and I normally do it somewhere earlier in the episode, but as we close out here, people will be able to hear Smooth Operator. I'm going to put it right there at the end of the episode here. And for those who want to see the video that we were talking about, directed by Julie and all that fun stuff, I'm going to put a link to that on all outlets of this as well. But Kristine, thank you very much. Happy holidays, and nothing but the best for you.
Thank you, hon. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate you so much. Merry Christmas, babe. Mwah.
Merry Christmas.
City lights in business night. Hello? Mr. Hollywood, wake up! Pay your damn rent! Pretty boy!
Hey there, Friday fans. We know how much you enjoy the movies. Enjoy grabbing your Friday merchandise and interacting with the Friday family, whether it be at conventions or during our particular watch-alongs. Well, when you're looking to get yourself masks, why not check out our friends over at Camp Blood Customs out of New York State and order your specific custom mask from any of the films. All orders are made specifically. Your needs and wants are. Make sure you find Camp Blood Customs on Facebook, Instagram, and all over social media and order yours today.
Hi, I'm Julie Michaels, and you're listening to Crazy Train Radio.